everybody. I'm Eggplant Evelyn, and I'm with Food Literacy Center. Thank you so much for joining me today in our food literacy cooking class. We know that kids and families are at home right now, so that's why we are sharing our hands-on cooking curriculum for the first time outside of our classroom. You can find all of our lessons and supplies list, activity sheets on our website, foodliteracycenter.org. Just click the curriculum tab that's at the top of the menu. So kids, I'm so happy that you come and join me today because we're going to be making our lesson 2 recipe, Tres Hermanas tacos. So who has had tacos before? I have. But what about Tres Hermanas tacos? What's Tres Hermanas anyways? Tres Hermanas is Spanish for the 3 sisters. Let's all say that together. Tres Hermanas. So what are the 3 sisters? Let's find out. First we have beans. This in Spanish is called frijoles. So you can say that too, frijoles. So today we're using black beans. The other sister in our recipe is going to be corn. In Spanish is elote. So we can all say that together, elote. So we have some sweet corn that we're going to be using in our recipe today. Our third and final sister is squash. And in Spanish, well, we're going to be using zucchini today. So in Spanish, it's calabacita. We're using a small squash zucchini. And if you can use any other kind of squash that you have on hand. There's lots of different varieties that you can use, yellow squash, and even in the winter months, you can use maybe butternut squash as well. But today, we're using our zucchini. So, for our recipe, before we get started, and you can find all of this at our website, kids, you're gonna have to ask your parents to print you out our supplies list so that you can make sure you have everything you need to make a recipe. Let's find out if we have everything to make our recipe today. So, aprons, check. We have mixing bowls and mixing spoons, check. Measuring cups and measuring spoons, check, check. I have both, and they're very colorful too. Next, we need to make sure we have a cutting mat or a cutting board. So I have a green one today. Plastic knife or butter knife. So kids, you will be doing a lot of the chopping today. So you can use a kid-safe plastic knife like the one I have right here. Or if you don't have one of those, you can also use a butter knife. And I'll be using both of them to show how we can cut our zucchini with both the plastic knife and our butter knife. Now parents, if you will be helping, you can also use a chef knife, and that's only for the adults. Next we'll need a kitchen towel. I have one right here. This is to help clean up any spills or dry off your hands. I have a medium pan right here that I'll be using to cook the zucchini with. And actually I'm going to get that started so we have it ready. And also a small pan to use for warming up tortillas. So those are all of the supplies that we will need. We also have the food and the produce options here, but we can find that on our recipe. Now we learned about recipes in lesson 1. Recipes are instructions that help us make the food. So we're gonna go through our recipe. We have our title, Tres Hermanas taco recipe, and we have our list of ingredients. So I'm gonna be going through the list of ingredients and see if you can find these ingredients too. First, we will need olive oil. Kids, if you don't know where the olive oil is, ask your parents. I have a little bit of olive oil in here. Next, we'll need our zucchini. Cubed, it says. So we'll get to that part later, but I have our small zucchinis right here. You'll need some tortillas, my favorite. Also, you'll need a little bit of cilantro. I have my cilantro right here. Next is 1 cup of sweet corn, so we'll measure that out together. And again, I am using the canned version, so kids, you can have your parents help you open the can if you're also using can with a can opener, and you can help drain and rinse the corn. And the same goes for our black beans. I use the canned version, so kids, you can have your parents help you with the can opener, and you can drain and rinse the beans before you get started. Next on our list is 1 green onion. So I have 1 little green onion sprig that we're going to be chopping together. A teaspoon of ground cumin. I have cumin. So kids, you'll have to ask your parents to help you find the different spices that you need. On our recipe ingredients, we have lime, but you can use a lime or a lemon, whichever one that you like best. Maybe you want to use both. And our last ingredients are a little bit of salt and pepper, and we'll just use this at the end if we want to add a little bit to taste. That means just to add a little bit of flavor. We're not going to be adding too much of this. Okay, it looks like we have everything that we need from our ingredients list on our recipe. So let's get started with the directions. I'm going to put this to the side. All right, kids, you're up first. Before we get started, we want to make sure we wash our hands. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds with warm water and soap. I've already gone and washed my hands, so make sure you take this time to go and wash your hands. Get in between your fingers, your fingertips, your thumbs, your wrists. Make sure everything is clean. We're going to start with the recipe. Kids are up first, and we're going to cut our zucchini into 1-inch cubes. Remember, this is a good time to practice our knife skills that we learned in skill set 1. We learned about our claw and the tunnel. So we're going to get started with our claw. You want to claw your zucchini so you can cut off the ends first. And I'm going to use our Kid Safe plastic knife, and I'm going to claw the other end and cut the ends off. Next, what do you think we're going to do next? It's rolling away. We need to create a flat surface. So we're going to use our tunnel. And you can use your tunnel on both sides of the zucchini. You can stick your knife right through the middle. And let's try our best. You're gonna have to saw back and forth to cut down the middle of our zucchini or calabacita. So now that we have our 2 flat ends, we can put these down, and now it won't roll away. You want to take your butter knife if you can, or you can continue with your plastic knife. And we're going to continue with our tunnel. You're going to tunnel and cut a few more lines, maybe 2 or 3. You can start down the middle of our zucchini. You can saw back and forth. So you can see a butter knife works just fine. You can cut our zucchini with a butter knife. Parents, make sure that you're watching your kids as they're working with their knives and you're helping them with their skills as well. So we have our zucchini that I cut. I'm going to cut 1 more line with our tunnel going through. And this keeps my fingers safe, so I'm not going to cut my fingers, and I'm holding my zucchini. So next, we got to make cubes. I'm going to turn my zucchini, and I'm going to use my claw to protect my fingers and just go against my knuckles, and I'm going to cut down. And again, you want to use that saw back and forth motion. So you can go through. This is the really fun part. You can practice your knife skills. Don't worry if the zucchini pieces are the same shape or size. This is all about practicing your knife skills, and whatever you cut is going to work out. So I've already gone through half of my zucchini. I'm going to put it there. So we have some cubed zucchini. Now I'm going to take my second zucchini. I'm going to use my plastic knife right here. And I'm going to, oh, I forgot, we're going to tunnel down the middle. Maybe cut other sides. And then we can use this seesaw motion. So we have one saw motion, and remember to use your claw. Use your claw, protect your knuckles, and go back and forth. So you can practice. Again, don't worry if the sizes aren't the same. You think you mess up, it's still gonna taste really good. Woohoo! We cut our zucchini into little cubes. So if you can see, we have our little cubes right here that we have cut. Congratulations, great job. Next, you're gonna have to grab the adult in your room to help you with this next part. We need to cook our zucchini. Let's see, our recipe says warm a pan for 1 minute. We've been warming our pan, so it's already warm. And it says to add our olive oil, 1 teaspoon of olive oil. So I'm opening up my olive oil. Kids, you can help with the measuring part. Parents, make sure everything is safe and that they're not too close to the hot pan. I'm going to find my 1 teaspoon. It's the orange one today. And we're going to just measure out over the pan 1 teaspoon of olive oil. So that's all you need, just 1 little teaspoon, and you're going to add it to the pan. And put these off to the side. And then we're going to grab our zucchini and add it. Ooh, that's a fun noise. That means it's working. Ah! So parents, remember, this is your job of the recipe. You're going to be cooking the zucchini. You can already see it sizzle. I don't know if you can see the steam that's coming up. We are just going to cook our zucchini until it's tender. Kids, you can watch, but be careful. Until it's slightly browned, and we can put a fork through it and it'll be nice and tender. So kids, while the zucchini is cooking, that doesn't mean your job's over. Our next direction says tear or chop cilantro while the zucchini is cooking. So let's grab, I have a little bowl right here with my cilantro sprigs, and you can just use your fingers. So you can just take the leaves off of the cilantro. I'm going to take it off, add it to our bowl. And you only need a few sprigs, so a sprig is 1 stem of cilantro. But if you really like cilantro, you can add some more. I really like it. I might add a little bit more when I'm done. Ooh, got a little cilantro that lost its way. So we have I'm just taking it off the little stem. So we're just going to take it off. I need to also make sure our zucchini is cooking nicely. And the nice thing is you don't have to cook the zucchini for that long. If you warm your pan, it'll brown up, and you don't want to overcook it because we still want it to be a little bit crunchy. Okay, I'm almost done with my cilantro, just a few more leaves. Here we go. These are trying to get away from me. And if you don't like cilantro, you don't have to add it to the recipe either. Maybe you can find something else that you do like. Maybe you want it a little bit spicy, and maybe you want to add something that's a little bit spicy. Okay, so I have my cilantro already ready. Let's check on our zucchini using my spoon and see if I can show you. It's only been on the pan for a few minutes, but it's already browning. It's yelling at me because I took it off the pan. So it's already browning. We might just leave it there for another minute or 2 before we turn it off. And you can use, again, a different kind of squash. Kids, maybe you don't like zucchini, but you really like yellow squash. Or maybe you've never tried zucchini, so this is a great recipe to give zucchini a try. especially when it's going to be with all these other really nice flavors. I think this is a great opportunity to try a new veggie. So I think my zucchini is done. I'm going to turn this off, let it cool down a little bit. Again, this is for the adults, this is for the parents. Kids, you can watch to see if the zucchini is done yet, but make sure you have an adult or your parents that's helping you. Okay, now I'm going to move these off to the side so we can see a little bit better. Now let's see what our next instructions are. Gonna grab my recipe that's gonna help me stay on track. Once the zucchini has been cooked and measured, we did that. We are going to add sweet corn, black beans, green onion, the cumin, juice of the lime, and cilantro to the cooked zucchini. Okay, that's a long list of things we need to do. Let's see if we can stay on track. I'm going to put my recipe there so I can watch it. I am going to have another mixing bowl where I can put everything together and stir it. So I'm going to add the cooked zucchini. Parents, this is again your task for the recipe. You're going to be adding the cooked zucchini. I'm going to put this over here because we want to get our tortilla pan ready so we can warm up our tortillas. Okay, so we've added our zucchini to our bowl. Now kids, it's back to you. What's the next thing we need to add? We need to add our sweet corn. How much sweet corn do we need? 1 cup. Let's look at our cups that we have, and you want to measure your cup. So you can use, I have an extra spoon here, so you can use a spoon, and maybe you want to use more than 1 cup because you really like corn, you can do that too. So you have our 1 cup of corn. I'm adding it to my bowl. We need 1 cup of our black beans. So I'm going to use my same spoon. I'm just going to help spoon in the black beans. We're using black beans. I really like black beans. Maybe there are different beans that you like. Maybe you like pinto beans, or maybe another kind of bean, some red bean, kidney bean that you like to use. All right, kids, make sure you measured 1 cup. And we're going to add 1 cup of black beans. What's the next thing we need to add? Our green onion. And we didn't chop our green onion yet. We're going to do that together. We're going to use our knife, or you can use your butter knife. And we're going to take the little roots off the end. So you can take this part. And we're just going to chop. We're going to chop all the way through. Luckily, we're only chopping 1 green onion, so it's not going to make our eyes water. But if you're chopping more, it might. So I'm cutting all the way through. Oh, it smells so good. I can smell the green onion. And that's what's nice about using fresh veggies and ingredients is they smell really good. So I'm just going to sprinkle these green onions in. Next, juice of a lime. And I think we missed the cilantro somewhere. Corn, black beans, green onion. Oh, cumin. How much cumin do we need? 1 teaspoon. So kids, you can have your parents help you find the cumin. We're going to add 1 teaspoon. Remember, our teaspoon was the orange one. So I'm going to try to be careful because I don't want to spill. And we're going to add 1 teaspoon right here. I love cumin. In Spanish, this is comino. It's one of my favorite spices to add. It's going to make it taste really good. Okay, so we added our green onion. We added our cumin. Now we need to juice our lime. How do we juice it? That doesn't work. We got to chop this. So we're going to use our tunnel so we can protect our fingers. We're going to tunnel through the middle and seesaw motion. Kids, this is all you. You're doing all the chopping. Sometimes the lime might take a little bit more muscles, but we did it. So we have our lime. And what I like to do is use my hand to catch the seeds. So I don't get any seeds. I just get all the juice. So, oh, kids, you might need a adult help to help you squeeze the lime to get all the juice out. Or you can really work at it. It's going to take some time. You want to get all that juice out. That's going to taste really good. And this is where my towel comes in, because now my hand's going to be sticky. So I did one half lime. Now I'm going to do the other one. You're going to squeeze. You're going to squeeze. If you have something that can help you squeeze the lime too, maybe you can use that. I'm just going to keep on squeezing. Okay, I think that's enough. So now my hands are a little wet. I'm going to use my towel right here. That's how we have our towel. And I'm going to get this started. Parents, this is a good time to get your pan warmed up for the tortillas while the kids are measuring and putting everything together. And kids, if your parents forgot, remind them we need tortillas, so you need to warm up the tortillas. Okay, we added the juice of the lime, and we need to add our last ingredient, our little cilantro leaves. And it says our next step is stir to combine. So we're going to mix everything together. We have our zucchini, our calabacita, we have our corn or elote, and we have our beans or frijoles in here. Little lime juice. Oh, it smells so good. So we're gonna make tacos out of this. We need our tortilla. We're gonna add it to our pan. This is for the parents. Parents, please help your kids warm up their tortillas. Keep an eye on them while they're using the pan. I'm going to move some of these things out of the way because we're done chopping. So I'll move these back here. And I have my little serving tray. Of course, you can use a plate. And we're almost done with our recipe, and that was very fast. I'm going to show you our finished mixture right here. Look at all the different colors. We have our beans, we have our tres hermanas all together. We have our three sisters all together. All right, parents, make sure you're doing the tortillas. We're keeping it safe. And we just have to warm them up. They don't need that much time. I have our warm tortilla. I don't know if you can see the steam coming off. It's already warmed. And we're just going to scoop a little bit of our mixture into our tortilla. Maybe you want a lot, you can do that too. We have a little bit of our mixture in here. All right, let's see how it turned out. Are you ready? Do you have your taco ready? Let's take a bite together and see. Wow. Ooh, I'm making a little bit of a mess. I can really taste the lime. And the zucchini's really good in this. What do you think? Thumbs up? Good? Tried a new vegetable today? That's all that we have on our recipe. We did it together. We made a great lunch. It has our veggies, a new veggie maybe that we haven't tried before. We got to practice our knife skills. We got to practice our measuring skills. And we made something that was easy and healthy. So I'm so happy that you joined me today. Stay tuned. We have our next food literacy cooking class on Friday at 11:30 a.m. and we're going to be making spaghetti marinara. So that should be a really great lunch. We're going to do that with mushroom mayo on Friday. Thank you so much for joining me. And again, tell your parents, or parents if you're watching, you can go to foodliteracycenter.org, click on the curriculum tab, and we have our lessons up with our lesson plans, activity sheets, and our activity sheet for lesson 2. If you don't want the fun to end, we have our favorite food culture, my favorite food and food culture activity sheets where kids can answer questions about their favorite foods, their own food culture. They can draw a little section of everybody's favorite food in the family. And for our older kids, we have a few more questions and an activity to be able to write a song or a poem or a story about their favorite foods and present it to everybody in the family. So thank you very much for joining me today. We have a grapefruit goodbye, and I hope you have a watermelon wonderful week. Goodbye, everybody.